Hello y'all, this is Regina from Regina's Crafting and More. Since I had a tester stitch this design, I don't have a video of it actually being done, so I'm going to go through it really quickly. This is a side panel. Here's your side panels. Mug rug. They have decorative fill in the background. So let me show you the steps. So step 1 gives you a placement stitch for your batting. You lay down your batting. Step 2 stitches it down. Step 3 is for your center piece right here. That's your placement stitch. You lay down your main fabric for the center. Step 4 stitches it down. Step 5 is for your side panel, your first side panel, and I believe, yes, it's on this side. So you put your side panel fabric, you lay it down over here, lining up the edge of your fabric with this sewn line. Step 6 stitches that down, and it's this line. It gives you a 1/4 inch seam. So your fabric is laying over here. You fold your fabric over. You can use a fabric folding pin and go down the stitch line. Then you fold your fabric over and use something to crease it down. Then it's going to go to the other side and it's going to stitch a line on this side for you to place the edge of your side panel fabric. You lay your side panel down over here, aligning it right here. Step 8 stitches that 1/4 inch seam down on the side panel. You can use fabric folding pin if you want to go down that seam. You fold it over and crease it down. So now you have your main fabric and you have your side panel fabrics. Step 9 goes all the way around, tacking down the side panels and whatever fabric you have sticking over. You don't have to cut all that fabric off as you go. So it goes around, stitches all the way around and tacks everything down. Step 10, oh, that thing keeps, let me make this another color. It should have been, I'm going to do that. Okay, so step 11 is your applique placement line for this heart right here. Step 12 tacks that fabric down. You're going to trim it back to the line. If you've done applique, you do not need to do this fill stitch right here. If you don't do your applique steps and you want a regular embroidery design on here and not an applique fabric, stitch color stock number 13. That's the red. Okay, color stock 14 is your satin stitch around, and it avoids this heart, this part of this heart. Step 15 is this decorative running stitch around the satin stitch. You do not have to stitch it if you don't want to. Okay, so just use a color thread that would show up against your satin stitching thread color. Now I suggest using a darker color for your satin stitching, so maybe a couple shades darker than whatever red you use here to help it stand out. Alright, then color stock 16 is for this heart right here. That is your placement line. You lay your fabric down, and then color stock 17 stitches your fabric down. Color stock 18 is for the embroidery fill if you did not do applique in steps 16 and 17. If you wanted to do the fill stitching, you would skip 16 and 17. Alright, color stock 19 is your satin stitching around the heart. Once again, I suggest a darker shade or 2 for your satin stitching around the heart. And if you do it in pink like I did, then you would use a darker color for your running stitch line in the satin stitching. And then color stock 21 stitches the text, color stock 22 stitches this text, color stock 23 is for your decorative fill in your side panels. If you want to stitch it, you do not have to stitch it. If you've got some really pretty fabric you've used for your side panels and you don't want it to get stitched down or have anything on it, then just skip color stock 23 if you don't want to. Now's the time for you to lay down your backing fabric. Now I use the folded two pieces on the back. Let me see if I can pause this. Let me get to this design. So let me open this, and I believe, sorry, I don't have that picture readily available. Let me scroll down and see if it's on here. There it is. So you take the length of your two panels for the back is 9 inches wide by 5 3/4 inches tall. That's what you're going to cut 2 panels to put on for your back. You're going to take your 9-inch width and fold it over on itself. You want your pretty sides out, so you'll have the back of your fabric facing up, and you're going to fold your 9-inch piece over. Okay, so that gives you 4.5 by 5 3/4. When you put it on your hoop, you're going to have an overlap here in the center. Okay, so you're going to put this piece down. It's going to overlap. You want fabric hanging over your stitch line. Let me get it. You want fabric hanging out here. You want fabric hanging up here. Okay. So once you've done that, once you've put the first piece down, you're going to put the second piece overlapping everywhere. So you'll have a good overlap of these two folded edges. So this is a folded edge and the other folded edge is over here. These are your raw edges on the side. All right, so then color stock 24, you're going to want to tape down your sides. I think it starts here and it goes around, so you don't want this fabric getting caught up in your embroidery foot, so I would tape it down or just be ready to hold it down. So it goes around and just does a running stitch. After it's done that, it's going to go over it one more time with a triple stitch to give it good security all the way around, because you're going to have to be turning this thing out. Once you've done that, you're done. You turn it inside out, and I have a video on my YouTube channel for the I Heart You Candy mug rug, and I show you how to turn that out. All right, so that's it. So let this run real quick, and you can just see the whoops, I didn't mean to do that, sorry. Oh, Lordy be. All right, so let me run this semi-slow. All right, so it's placement line. You lay down your batting, it tacks it down. All right, then it does the center placement line. You lay down your fabric, overlapping all the edges, it tacks it down. Now it does your side seam, it tacks it down, side seam, tacks it down, you fold them over, then it's going to stitch everything down again. Now it's going to do your decorative fill stitching, and it leaves an opening so you don't have to worry about any of the stitching showing up through your heart fabric or your heart fill if you do a fill stitch. Okay, so it does all that. Now it does let me slow that down because you can't see that. All right, so it will do a placement line for your applique and a tack down. If you don't want to do it, do this fill stitch if you don't do applique. Okay, so I'm going to let that go a little faster. Okay, and after it does that, it's going to do a placement line over. It's going to do the satin stitching, and when it's finished with the satin stitching, it'll do a little stitch down the center of the satin stitching with a complementary color. So let me back up. Then it's going to give you a placement stitch for your applique, and just like it did up here, that if you don't do applique, you're going to stitch this. Let me back that up a little bit. So I want you to see. All right, so it's going to do your, okay, so it's placement, a tack down, and if you don't do applique, then it does the fill. Okay. All right, so you've got your pretty side panel fabric over here on the sides. Now it's doing the text, and you do not have to stitch the text if you don't want to. It's not mandatory. Sometimes you have to stitch areas that you may otherwise not want to. Then it will do the decorative fill on your side panels, or you can just skip that step. And then it's going to run a satin stitch all the way around, I mean a running stitch all the way around, and then it'll do your triple stitch. You put, sorry, you have to put your side panels on before it does. I'm sorry, your side panel's already on. Oh gosh, I just got up, so sorry about that. All right, so it does a stitch around to tack the side panels and everything down. Then it does a triple stitch. This blue line is a triple stitch to hold everything down. And that's when you'll get, and this is done by Crystal. Okay, so there's her finished, and she did do the decorative stitching on her side panels. Okay, and that is how the 3-piece side panel mug rug is done. All right, don't forget to like and share. You click the little bell in YouTube to be reminded when I post a video, which will mean that there's a new design up, because I always try to give some kind of a tutorial for each of the designs. All right, have a happy new year. Thanks for watching. Bye.